I'm sure that when Brad Jakobsen tells his friends that he sells wine for a living, they get a little goofy and tell him he has the best job ever. So, why on earth does he want to become the MPP for Durham in the February 27th election? And why does he want to carry the Liberal flag and Durham's voice to Queen's Park? Today's guest at Exit 425.
In the main corridor of exit 425.
Local politicians to connect with families.
What are some unique challenges?
Thanks very much, Steve, for having me.
Exit 425. It's where we live. Brad, thanks for meeting me here at Exit 425.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for taking the time and having me on your podcast today. I really appreciate it. The question in your opening has been asked of me many, many times by family and friends why I've decided to run. And actually, when I sent the press release to a few friends, they actually thought it was a joke. They couldn't really believe it. But to answer your question, I have a wife, I have 2 boys, 2 daughter-in-laws, and 4 grandkids. So really, I'm running to hopefully improve their standard of life. I've decided to run under the Liberal flag for really one reason, and that's because I believe in their vision. I believe our province is broken, and I believe that Bonnie Crombie and the Ontario Liberal Party has the tools to fix it. I'm not a politician. I've never run for office. In my job, I travel throughout Eastern Ontario, and I see different communities: Peterborough, Kingston, Napanee, Belleville, all these different communities. But the one common denominator in all these towns is suffering. I think everybody's suffering from high energy costs, high housing costs, long wait times at the ERs. I mean, 7 years ago, Doug Ford ran on a campaign to end hallway medicine, when the reality is wait times have skyrocketed and access to family doctors has gone down.
So lots of reasons for you to get involved. What are your connections with Durham region? When I read your bio, you seem to have a long list of experiences.
Well, I moved to Bowmanville around 1997 when I met my wife, then girlfriend. And since then, I've made many friends. My wife and I take advantage of all the community events, the Orno Fair, Apple Fest, Terry Fox Run, to name a few. But one thing I did when I first moved here is I started refereeing minor and junior hockey. And it was a great way to meet new friends, new people, and really feel involved in the community. Some of the people I met while reffing when I started in 1998 are still friends today.
You've been knocking on doors, and just a couple of weeks ago, you were a mere civilian. What are the things that you and the people that you meet are concerned with?
Through community engagement, talking with people, even social media. I've used some social media, even though people told me don't do it. But you do, and you know what? There's a lot of vitriol out there. But you do get a great cross section of the community, both good and bad. But the one underlying theme was exasperation, doubt, discontent, lack of trust. Those comments I find troubling. I would hear things like, they're all the same. Politicians are only into it for themselves. I mean, I'm trying to run as a straight shooter, but I hate when people say, this is the way it's always been. I mean, those comments really bother me. Those comments actually make no sense to me. To me, those comments, what they're really saying is we're either too lazy or too afraid of change. I told people if elected, I'll be sitting as a Liberal candidate, I'll be sitting as a Liberal MPP, but I'm there most importantly to advocate for the people of Durham. And, I won't be making deals with people unless it advances our community. I'm not there to advance myself. I'm there to advance our community. And I'm not there to make any friends. I'm going to vote with my conscience.
You touched on this earlier, why you're choosing to run with the Liberal Party. And what are the key things in their platform that you really think can help Durham riding?
I think the most important thing in their platform is healthcare. Engaging with people, that's the number one thing that they're concerned about. Healthcare, healthcare, healthcare. Yes, education is a big thing. Cost of living is a big thing. But most importantly, it's healthcare. And I know we all complain about our taxes, but I think, if you really drill down, I think people are fine with what they pay in taxes. It's the lack of services they're getting. And with the liberal platform of putting $3.1 billion into the healthcare system, you know, I really think we can make a dent in the ER wait times. And I think that's the most important thing. If we can hire enough family doctors, and it's going to be a tall task, no doubt about it. But if we can move in that direction where everybody has a family doctor, you know, we'll almost completely get rid of ER times. But not only that, we will, in the long run, we'll save money because if everybody has access to a family doctor, they're going to be seen in a timely manner. And some of those small issues that they have that they avoid going to wait 5 hours at the ER for, those are going to get caught. And, those issues are going to be picked up and hopefully treated before they become, a life altering or, possibly a life ending issue.
Is there anything from the provincial office of the Liberal Party that suggests meeting with constituents and doing things like, podcasts is not an acceptable use of your time?
When I sat down with the campaign team, they laid out this plan for the election and the campaign. They said to me, any media requests, any questions, forward them to us. We will provide you with an answer. They wanted to make sure I hit all the liberal talking points. And I said to them, I said, I need to draw a line in the sand here. I said, I'm not a politician. I said, I guess hopefully after February 27th, I will be. But this philosophy of you answering my questions doesn't work for me. And I told them I'm not here to parrot their key points. Well, I agree with them. And I think they're the right points to move our province forward. I need to interpret them myself and I need to express them myself. I respect all the people on the campaign team. They've been around for a long time. But I'm not here to make them happy. I'm not here to make the Liberal Party happy. I'm here to make the community happy and see it flourish.
Brad, are you happy with the idea of being the voice for Durham at Queen's Park as opposed to being the voice for Queen's Park in Durham?
Absolutely, I am. Going to Queen's Park, representing Durham would be a great honor. I think we need to speak instead of hearing what Queen's Park is saying. We need to make Queen's Park listen to us, listen to what we need, schools, education, the high cost of living. We need to make them hear us. Personally, I think communication is the key to this job. And, I think, I work in sales and communicating is part of my everyday life. I talk to people every day. I hear all their problems, they hear some of mine, and we work together. And I think that is the key moving forward at Queen's Park. Hear us, and I'll advocate for us, but we all need to work together. And we need to stop painting people with a red brush or a blue brush or an orange or green brush. And we need to see people at Queen's Park. And we need to talk and see how can we take care and advance our individual ridings.
What is your wish list of key priorities for you to work on at Queen's Park?
So, key priorities, obviously, number one in everybody's heart is healthcare. But I think you've heard me address most of that in a previous answer. A couple other things that I think really need addressing is the education system, specifically in Durham region or our riding of Durham. We need schools, we need teachers, we need administrators, we need teaching assistants. All this has been cut and we're starting to see it with, I had a call with one of the school boards the other day, and he said, sometimes his teachers are wearing, protective gear to class because, there's students that need assistance and they're acting out in ways that our teachers can't handle. They need teaching assistants and they need people that can help, the vulnerable children that are reaching out, move forward. I mean, I can't imagine that. When I went to school, nothing like that happened. So, that's a wish list. You know, I also wish that we can make life a little bit more affordable. And part of the Ontario Provincial Party's platform, deals with that. We're talking about cutting the taxes to your utility bills, your HST on your utility bills. And they've done a calculation that'll put about $1,150 back into everybody's pocket. They want to cut some developer red tape. I can't remember the term they use. I'm just going to look it up. But it just says scrap developer charges. And that can alleviate $170,000 off the cost of a new home. I think, a few things like that will help make our lives a little bit more.
Horrible.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for helping me out there.
Anything else that you'd like to share or raise that we haven't talked about?
I think we've covered most of the Liberal platform and how we can move forward as, a province to success. But one thing I wanted to add was, as I was thinking about how I wanted to position myself and how I wanted to run as the Durham riding candidate, I thought to myself, you know, previous MPPs, previous candidates, they reach out for a 4-week time frame when they're campaigning for your vote. And then you rarely hear a thing from them. Occasionally, maybe annually or biannually, you get something in the mail. But like most people, mail, just gets thrown aside. It's considered junk mail. Maybe they post to their website, but you have to go and find that, and I don't think you get engagement throughout the 4 years. You don't get any feedback. So, as I was thinking, I thought, what can I do different? And, we spoke about it earlier. I think social media can be a great tool. Yes, it can spiral into a lot of hate, but, there's a lot of love too. I can tell you that a lot of people have reached out through direct messages and after reading some hate to say, hey, man, I got your back. Way to go. Way to give us an alternative. But in saying that with social media, I wanted to say that, we can use this as a tool to communicate better. I was thinking, you know, I'm in Queen's Park for the people. Basically they're paying my salary. So why aren't we communicating on a regular basis? Why are they not getting, say, a biweekly or a monthly update? Why are they not, seeing in that update how I voted on certain things, what I'm doing, who I'm lobbying, who I'm trying to talk to get the schools built, to get the hospital, expansion moving quicker. So, personally, I think it's a great idea. And I've often said we need more transparency in politics. And that was my first thought on how we could move forward with just a little bit more transparency and some more engagement. So throughout the 4 years, people know exactly what I'm doing, exactly what I've done. And then hopefully in 4 years, they say, great job. I know exactly what he stands for. I know exactly what he's fighting for. And I know exactly what he's up against. I'd like to vote for him again.
That's awesome. I really appreciate that. Now, um, Brad, how can people reach out to you to find out more information or to speak with you or just find out more information about the Liberal platform?
I have a website. It's bradjakobsen.ca. I should probably spell that because my last name is unique spelling. And that's BRADJAKOBSEN.ca. They can also email me info@bradjakobsen.ca, and they can call or text me at 289-205-2716. Plenty of ways to reach out. Try to respond to everybody that responds to me. And I look forward to communicating with the community.
That's awesome. Brad, thank you for meeting me today at Exit 425. I appreciate you taking your time out of your campaign to fill us in on a few things.
Steve, thank you very much for having me. And I wanted to let you know that this was my first interview and I really enjoyed my time with you. So thanks again. And, hopefully we can be in touch, with some positive news after February 27th.
That's awesome. Thanks again.